my life I had wanted to start my own business. I was encouraged to do so by my father. I had always wanted to make design build the centerpiece of our company. So the contractor would hire an outside architect and engineer and try to integrate those with his own company. We, on the other hand, had people in-house, all of the disciplines, repeatedly working on projects for Haskell and repeat customers, and making for a much more effective delivery process as a result.
Having the design professionals working side by side with construction was relatively unique. It's still unique today in the sense of all the different practice areas that we have. So you can go to another company that may have integrated design team, but it might just be some architects, or it might be some structural engineers or things like that. You don't have architecture, civil, structural, mechanical, electrical, process, packaging, automation, transportation, all these different services that we offer in our integrated package, along with construction and turnkey, EPC, and all those types of delivery that we have, is very unique.
The Haskell Company is different, solving facility problems through integrated thinking, excelling through trust, collaboration, and innovation.
Preston's expertise is always 10 years ahead of everybody else. He's a visionary and thinking visionary.
Preston's vision of having a permanent craft employee core of team members that would travel with us from project to project, that would know the Haskell way, that would complete projects of high quality and safely, and know that they would have another job at the end of the current job. Very unique in the industry.
Some of the proudest moments were probably the years I started with Haskell in the younger days, just being part of the Haskell building itself. Starting with that project was my very first Haskell job. It's a great structure that we built out there. It's been there a long time, and just brings back memories for me being my first job with Haskell, being on his home corporate office.
I was one of the first PCE employees with the Haskell Company. I remember when they didn't even own a truck. And I went from carpenter to assistant superintendent, and enjoyed every light day of it. And most of the time, they used to call me Mr. Tilda, because I was good at building tilt panels. I thought of things that would help us and make the job go quicker. But I've done everything to try to improve things for Haskell.
The Haskell Company is aiming for new heights. The employees are a team, conscientious, eager, ambitious. They are motivated and extremely qualified to get the job, then get the job done.
The American Transtech project was a turning point for Haskell. It proved in the end to elevate design build as a system of delivery on a very sophisticated building. It was what I called an impossible project, and what others called impossible. But that's what Haskell does. Haskell does impossible things.
We held such a meeting with 13 other companies to discuss the formation of a national society for the promotion of design build and making sure that design build was done right.
Within industry, he's a titan of our industry. He is innovative, he's creative, He could be singularly responsible for bringing back the concept of the master builder, of bringing back architecture, engineering, and construction into one organization.
We not only did design build expertly, we serviced the customer expertly. So in my opinion, we became experts in that delivery. But Haskell perfected that model by adding the unique flavor of customer service being first. If you didn't treat the customer right, all the rest of it didn't matter.
Haskell had a culture for achievement at the highest level, and by and large the people at the Haskell Company were selected carefully, and they were first order people across the board.
I called Preston and just introduced myself and said, well, interested in learning more about your business. But he was very gracious, so I flew down to Jacksonville. Preston took me to the conference room on the second floor, and it was completely filled with financial statements and marketing materials and sample proposals. And he introduced me to his two top executives, and he said, they are here to answer anything you want all day. They're at your disposal. So this went on for the full day. And I realized this guy was so confident. He'd share anything with me because by the time I figured out how to copy it, he'd be off doing something even better and bigger. I went back to my home in Los Angeles. I said, I think I've seen the future of the industry.
And that's why we're successful, because we take the next step besides just completing a building. We've helped them solve their problem, and they can trust us.
Time after time after time, Haskell's been on the leading edge of adapting innovations, whether it's scheduling softwares, project management systems, 3D design technologies, laser scanning. It's amazing what we can do with a project virtually these days that we couldn't before. But that started a very, very long time ago. It started in the 70s and the 80s, and it continues even to this day, the adaptation of the newest and best technology for the benefit of our projects and our customers.
When the organization and the executive leadership team started Haskell 2025, it was also about how do we innovate, how do we invent, how do we invest, how do we build technology to improve our operations so that we build better capabilities for our clients. And I think that's pretty much the difference that I see in Haskell versus other companies in this industry.
There's not many AEC companies that have a thing that looks like DisruptTech. We're one of the probably 5 to 10 in the country. And so I think it's a big deal both for our employees and certainly for the way the world looks at us.
Haskell is absolutely committed to innovation. What we like to refer to it as like we're constantly punching above our weight. So there's a lot of movement, and the more that we innovate and create within Haskell, the more we are going to create for the industry. Everything that we've looked at from the DisruptTech perspective and how to make Haskell better, it's how do we deliver a better product to our customer.
Developments, including the pavilion, which has been a big success.
They are a tremendous group to work with. They're receptive to
When they came in and met with us the first time, they gave us the most professional presentation. We felt the most comfortable with them.
The Haskell Company far exceeded the city's expectations, not only completing the job.
One of the key foundations of Haskell and Haskell's success is how well we do in the field. And it's remarkable to see how we've progressed over time and how our sophistication and our ability to deliver in field operations, it's what our customers see. We build tangible products. And at the end of the day, when the customer moves into a new facility, the end product is what they see. And that end product is delivered by excellence in field operations.
We basically were ready to follow the client to essentially any country to support them with their business, and that's how we ended up evolving into APAC. So the Asia Pacific operation that you see us today in the Philippines, in Malaysia, and Singapore, the reason we are there is because a client needed us.
If you go pre-2014, I had no concept that I'd be in Asia. And then when we were doing the project, it wasn't like, okay, I'll go there and live there for 10 years. That wasn't also part of the plan. But the challenge and the adventure and the opportunities, never regret the choice. And I hope, again, people realize that in our organization, if you have a little bit of courage, an appropriate amount of, I'd say, sense of adventure, you can create new things.
The operation overseas and in Latin America, it's a substantial part of what we do. It's an important part of what we do. The reason we are doing so much work outside the U.S. really boils down to trust. Clients that are hiring us, they trust us in large part because they know us from working here in the States. That trust extends to us delivering complex projects, first-of-kind projects, or large projects outside the U.S. Our team has expanded as far as the diversity of the people that come to work for us, their backgrounds, their expertise. We hire from a lot of different universities now. We hire from a lot of different geographies. And by that I mean outside of the U.S. And those teams complement what we do very well, and we're naturally better because we have a more diverse team.
So what I've seen in the time that I've been on the board is those tenured clients, they have a well-entrenched partnership based off of, programs that they have delivered together as a partnership, and they've built on that in the years. And now what I'm starting to see is new clients, new partnerships merging as new fields, new markets are really opening here in the United States and abroad.
We are definitely team focused. We strive to do excellence in everything that we do. We're focused on service to the community. And I think that partnership our clients value and come to respect year after year. That's what I think they keep coming back.
If you can promise your customer date certain, delivery certain, quality certain, and deliver on that, everybody wins.
We don't view it as a transaction with our clients and our customers. We view it as, we're an extension of their team, and we bring a lot to the table, bring a lot of experience and knowledge, and we deeply engage in understanding what they do. When our values intersect with the values of our customers, then it makes it a lot easier because we work as a team with our clients. We provide them a high level of service and wanting to make them better. We strive for excellence, and then most importantly, we build trust.
I remember we were taking on those huge projects in the mid-90s that were $40 million projects, and in the early 2000s we were taking on huge projects that were $75 and $80 million projects.
Our sales goal is $540 million.
And now it's 300 and 400 and close to $1 billion projects. Today we have good people doing good work with good practices, and with good practices you can execute a lot more growth. I think that's the most important thing that we've done, is created a structure and practices, business practices, that allow us to control risk, control safety, and execute the work more efficiently than we did.
In the HR world, we call it organizational health, and I would say we're extremely healthy. And so I think when people look at our organization internally and externally, when they evaluate, the health of the organization, I would say they would say we're extremely healthy, we're extremely robust, and we have all those things that we need to continue to do to drive this organization forward. I think this team, the power of our team, the power of our people in this organization, the bright people we have here, it's limitless. We can be whatever we want to be.
What has stayed constant here is the teamwork, the culture at Haskell, that everybody truly works together as a team, that we enjoy working together, we enjoy what we do, and we enjoy delivering good outcomes to our clients. That excitement, that teamwork really hasn't changed. If anything, it's gotten stronger.
The most valuable asset we have in this whole industry, though every person in Haskell is important, our craft professionals are the ones that are in the biggest exposure and risk every single day. Putting them in the best protection, making sure they can return to their families every night the same way, making sure that they can enjoy a quality of life that we all get to share every day. That is what's at the essence of what Haskell safety values are all about.
Having our values of team excellence, service, and trust as our foundation of everything we do every day, always looking through the lens of our values, and every act that we do every day will not change. Our purpose, really building purpose in our business of creating things that matter, won't change. And having the ultimate goal of making sure everybody says, hey, this is the best job I ever had, that won't change either. And I really enjoy spending a good part of my time thinking about what the future of this company could be and what is in the best interest of 2,500 team members and all their families. The Haskell Company's given me personally and my family nothing but tremendous opportunity, and all the leaders along the way that I worked with and or worked for fostered that ability to empower team members to grow, to get better, to be able to advance in this organization.
Once you came to Haskell, you found a home. You know, Haskell supported you. They had your back. If you needed something, they would always take care of you. If you made a mistake, they'd pat you on the back, give you a pep talk, and put you right back in the game. That, to me, is the family side of the Haskell Company.
For 35 years, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, this has been my livelihood. This building, this job is never far from my mind and trying to be proactive in making things run the way they're supposed to for everyone. Everyone that comes to this building and everybody that works in this building, you know, that's a huge responsibility. I'm no different from anybody else that's been here over the 60 years. I stand on the shoulders and the back of all of those before me. There's people that's in this company here, that's around the world, that bear that Haskell Company mark.
The Haskell culture, in my mind, is hire enthusiastic and bright people and turn them loose. That's the culture.
I'm proud to be a Haskell team member because this is where I found my start. This is where I found my Haskell family. This is where my passion for architecture is developed every day. I come to Haskell to be the best version of myself, and I appreciate every opportunity I have been given while I have been employed here.
This is just the tip of the iceberg, because in 5 to 10 years from now, Haskell continuing on this trajectory of evaluating solutions, technologies, enabling innovation, enabling the employees to look at things in a fresh perspective and trying different things and failing and learning is going to open so many doors, and it's going to really take us leaps ahead of the competition.
Jim O'Leary is going to take this company and the team that he has. It's going to take this company to new heights. I guarantee it. The Haskell story is still writing itself. It's getting better every day. Not a day will go by where I won't be cheering for Haskell's next great success. Can't wait to see what lies ahead.
the sky's the limit for Haskell. I mean, we could do anything in the market that our customer wants us to do.
I have spent 6 years working with the Haskell team and the leadership, and I couldn't be more excited to see what the next 10 plus years will provide to this company.
You know, we use the term built to last, and that's what we've worked so many long years to get to. All the things that we're doing for our customers across the world, integrating design and construction, being innovative and driving technology, having a diverse workforce, continually growing and achieving greater heights. It's never been in a better position to continue to succeed and grow and prosper. The opportunities ahead of us as a company are just phenomenal. In the next 10 years, the Haskell Company will be more significant in our industry. We'll be a clear leader, a disruptor. It'll be creative, it'll be innovative, and it'll serve our customers greater than we do today.
Haskell in the next 10 to 20 years, I think that's going to be very exciting. I think we're going to continue to see evolution. We're going to see the company getting stronger with our service offering. We're going to see more offices, more team members. We're going to grow as an organization, and I think we're going to continue to distinguish ourselves from the rest of the contractors. We're going to separate ourselves from the pack even further, as we've been doing, for the last, since 1965.